Greetings and welcome. I am Joffrey, along with Vector Maximus and the Darkest Light, and today we are talking about the Tinto maps number 3, this time on France. Very excited, very excited. So crazy, I know, right? It's a map. Whoa. But I mean, that's what
Honestly,
we're all here for.
we could also bring up map number 2 since I don't think we talked about that one.
Map number
Yeah,
2.
good.
Did map number 2 the Spain.
Iberia.
I chat didn't I thought it might have. I think Dark and I might have talked about it a bit after you left.
Oh, it's
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
possible.
we
sure.
did. Yeah, we did talk
Yeah.
about that one afterwards. It wasn't really any big changes from EU4.
Yeah. If we feel like talking about some more stuff, we could always go sifting through recent posts that have been started. I suppose that can be fun sometimes, but
Or just track down Johan's account and see all his comments.
stalk him. Yes, but yes. Oh, I'll actually open that image. Start with I guess yeah, reading what it's saying though. Yes, Dark is first. No, Goat did not say first fast enough. Yes. Oh, he says greetings and welcome too. Uh, and of course, yes, they're having good feedback because everyone loves looking at the map. And the France up to its current modern borders. What? Whatever. Yes, the 37 county borders. And okay, that's not actually a good image for me to open up. This is
The better one is just
yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm. This is the one that's actually, and is it? They do have stuff to say about it. Had a few options. On extreme, make it a centralized monarchy like England or the Iberian ones, but with much lower degree of control over its territories. Conversely, we could have a French crown, similar to the HRE, and they decided to go with the middle term. Gosh, imagine if they had a second HRE in the West. Ugh.
I mean,
Oh,
the essential difference between the Crown of France and the Imperial Crown is that France eventually managed to centralize.
yeah.
The Imperial Crown did not.
The main difference really is which one succeeded. Yeah.
Now
Hmm.
I do like how all the vassals appear to be based on the color of their liege. I don't know if that's just
Yes.
the tag being naturally that color or if being the vassal itself changes your color.
They've said that being a vassal will cause you to get colored based on your overlord, and that
Then
there's also
I
a game rule you can set for that.
I very much like that.
I like this being an option too.
Hmm.
This also, this, for example, though, it makes you wonder about, does that mean Brittany is a vassal of France? I
It
think that's
is,
what this
although
means. Yeah.
they've, yeah, it's
Not
in
for
the
long.
comments. They talked about the status of Brittany.
It's, yes, it is a beautiful border gore, James. It is fantastic. Now, the, if you need to look at this map and have to sit and think, who is Ven? Who is Ven? Where else is Ven? I don't know. That's when you know it's good. Aléphon. Though actually, I don't think there's as much. Oh wait, no, I was about to be like, no, it's not actually that crazy. But then I realized, nope, there's VEN, and there's VEN down here. This is
Yeah, there's plenty.
bad. This is
Being
bad.
American is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
You
I don't know
want
what
feudalism.
I don't know what Saint P is, but is there two? I I wonder if any of these are things other than counts. Surely they're all counts, but it would be funny if there were any of them
Probably
that
the
weren't.
Burgundy
Burgundy is a duchy.
and Flanders.
It's all Flanders is probably a duchy too, yeah. Though they're probably all feudal. I doubt there's
You
any
won't have
like
any kings
theocrats.
under kings.
I mean like I was meaning at this point like what if there was a like a bishop or something, but I doubt there is. France is known for its unruly nobles. The HRE is
Yeah,
specifically where like the
from
bishops have
what
power and
they
stuff.
from what they were saying, France's vassals can basically be split between normal feudal vassals and specifically appenges, which, for those of you not in the know, an appenge is essentially a fief given out to either a prince or a cadet of the royal family. So that means it can be re-inherited back into the main royal line. And in this case, I think it's Normandy, Maine, and Anjou start as a personal union, all held by the Dauphin of France. So once he ascends the throne, they're going to be inherited by France.
That's well, I mean, Normandy, Maine, Anjou. It's like that's a decent chunk of land, but still doesn't fix any of this. But it's an interesting thought that like if the Dauphin dies prematurely, that could fuck things over. But yeah, as you say, like Drac, yeah, this is just before the 100 Years' War. It's all wacky. Like they've still got, I think Calais. This is the staple port at any rate. But and they've got Channel Islands.
Not quite. That's not
Yeah.
Calais. Calais is on the tip north of that little bit.
I guess
Yeah.
what
It's where the
Bourbon.
channel is narrowest, I believe.
Yeah,
It's like
they're basically on the tip.
either Artois or Bourbon. Which is interesting. I thought that at this point they already had it. But no, Brittany's not independent. Aquitaine's not independent. Normandy's not independent. Everyone here is either a subject of France or England, except Majorca.
Or like Provence and such.
Provence and Viennois are both princes of the empire. There's also ORA and the Pope. You know, PS. Yes.
Pope man.
But you've got Majorca, which is the subject of Aragon and Navarre is peeking in here. With just a little bit of Aquitaine on the side.
Can't wait for them to inherit half of Normandy.
Yeah, apparently Navarre also holds one of the French vassals in a personal union. So that's an example of, I think, a really interesting dynamic where you can be in a personal union with an independent country, but also be a vassal to another one.
You're saying it says that in here somewhere? Like that's
in one of the comments.
No way.
Yeah.
Because I know Dark and I is big, you know. I mean, you've played Mayo and Taxes as well. All three of us have played it, and we know like there's a point in time where like they even represent the fact that Navarre has little bits of Normandy. So I guess not Normandy, but someone in France. You're saying,
yeah,
is there
it's
PU?
Somebody around like Foix, I think. It's in the south of France. I want to say.
If it's wall. That would be pretty useful then. That would help their situation quite a bit if it's what else do they have to say here? Appanages and vassals of different types of subject. I think that this way we can portray the progressive centralization of the crown under the reigns of Philip II, Louis the Philip, Louis, and Philip. Yeah, yep. Roman numerals. Great. While also portraying the powerful.
Are very innovative in their naming schemes.
That's how the numbers get so high.
It's like the Prussians.
What is?
It's all Wilhelm or Frederick Wilhelm.
What is IX? What is IX?
9.
Oh, okay. That's not as bad as I thought then.
Well, I mean, we eventually reached Louis the 16th.
I was just thinking that was like 11 or something. It's like, okay, that's getting a little crazy. But the blind king of Bohemia to ride west to support his French allies. Excuse me. 17 Louis? No. Ugh. Okay, no, Drac, don't start talking about Navarre like it's a genuine nation. Like Epirus is a real state.
This coming from the Andorra fan.
Yes, I am an Andorra fan. Proud of it. Andorra is not a real state. They have probably one location, and it's right next to the Arctic. It's not Arctic, but I remember in the last
It's Arctic climate.
Not quite. It's right next to the one that in this Tinto map we saw was Arctic. There we go. It's right. Andorra is continental. It's just next to the Arctic ones. It's like, oh boy. Could you imagine that? Oh, you've been to Andorra in real life? I don't know what that would be like, but okay. Cool. Savoy is disgusting as usual.
We can also see on this map that they've gone through and they've split up the Swiss into the cantons.
We could sort of see that before, but now we've got some actual names. We got some actual my webcam doesn't capture it all properly, but if I move that over for a moment, you get to see yeah, there's quite a few cantons that we could see so far. Of course, Genève is probably no, they're not a vassal of Savoy, I guess, yet, because they're a different color. Unless this red is a close enough shade. I don't know. But in any case, there's quite a few. Look! AUS! That's my favorite Swiss canton.
Ah, love that one.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's even more of it up here.
Well, the Habsburgs originated in the vicinity of the Swiss, so.
Yeah. What? SC in Switzerland? I don't. It's just a country. SC is just short for something. That does not mean Swiss Confederation, if that's what you mean. It's just like, yeah, what is Bess? I don't know. Bess is just a country that exists surrounded by Franche Comté, just like Savoy completely surrounds Genève. It's just a thing. It sucks, but that's how it be. But let me put that back now. Do. Feuds granted to members of the royal family. Yeah, eventually revert to the French crown, as you were saying. So maybe it's a certain like level of personal union. It could be a stage of personal union, or I don't know. Also notice there might be a problem incoming related to a couple of English possessions. The man, yes. Oh my god, the county of Ponty, and especially Aquitaine, the Channel Islands. Nah, leave them alone. Oh god, they're different. They're different locations. That's crazy. They actually have the Channel Islands as different. The island of Jersey and Guernsey, I suppose. They're big enough to be a worthwhile subject country. Oh god. Oh my god.
Off the questions at the pass. For Channel Islands, their population of all of like 2,000 rich people are going to be up in arms.
But we get Wales.
The Channel Islands are incredibly pricey because rich people buy them up.
That does not
jurisdiction for tax and such.
Does not surprise me at all. Saint Claude. It's funny to imagine. Tiny village. Yep, here's your princely state in the HRE. The Prince of Saint Claude. Where's these locations? Oh yeah, so actually. Okay, no, that's not going to work. I need to just open a new tab.
I don't think the Channel Islands are separate locations. They seem to be the same color.
I guess, yeah. Whatever. He just named them anyway, is the idea. That would be so tiny. These islands are interesting. Brest and Bonds. This are part of the mainland, but
country cores, if they're using cores in this game for the Channel Islands, though, so people can release and play as them.
No, that would be if they had like a core and you could release them as a subject.
Then again, Andorra was gonna be a crappy country.
Hey, at least the Channel Islands have access to the sea. Marseille, Aix-en-Provence, Toulon. Oh, that's a wacky looking location right there. Gee. Oh, okay, no, my head's not covering that.
The
Also, I'm
great,
not
the
seeing a
great
location for Monaco. Where are we supposed to do gambling and race very fast cars?
Don't
I
worry,
don't
we
actually know
still
where
have-
Monaco is. I know it exists, but I
It's
have
on
no
the
clue
border
where it is.
between, essentially, it's on the border between Italy and France, in Provence and Piedmont.
Don't worry, we still have the location of die.
Do
You will die.
SC. Where was SC? That's Geneva. Ah, yeah. St. Claude. Ding, 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 ding. It is St. Claude.
Santa.
Yeah, there is no Monaco on this map. This is tragic. Santa. I just
I wanted to have
processed you
more
saying
high-speed
that.
races.
There's only so much to glean from location maps. Some names may be a bit long, so please blame the French, not us, and ask if you want to know what this location is. Provinces? Normandy. Yeah, Channel Islands are part of Normandy. Avignon. Wait, so that's like Avignon is its own province. Or no.
Makes sense.
Or is it the colors that are provinces?
So the names
I guess
are
the
different
provinces, yeah.
provinces, similar to like EU4 provinces, and then the coloration is probably like the states.
Or the regions, probably.
Yeah, it's probably something
Oh,
like that.
that's right, because in this game, I guess, yeah, so you like when you're making
Location,
peace deals,
build.
for example, you don't take a location in a
Nope,
peace
No,
deal, you take an area.
You take location. You
Oh,
take
you
a
can?
location.
you can take
Yes.
both.
You can take both. But
Oh.
locations are the smallest building block.
So there's just areas just have some other thing
It's
that makes
like
them
how
distinct.
it's like the way I probably think about it is like in CK3 you have baronies, counties, duchies, kingdoms, so on.
But you can't take a barony in a war.
Yes, essentially locations are if we could take baronies.
I suppose so. That makes sense. I wonder if you can have multiple cities in one area, is my question, though.
I feel like they answered that.
Probably, but it
specifics.
may or may not be economical. Depends
What
on
if
how
I want to
your
turn?
allies are.
I must turn No, just import more. It's okay. Just import more. Soy Sans! It's Soy Sans Pog!
Ah, yes, the Winter Kings.
Rest in peace, Cornwall, being this tiny corner. Doesn't even have Devon. It's like, eh. And it's part of, like, I guess, what, the Wessex region or something? That's so sad. Or state. Jeez. This is tragic. We are aware that we have severe inconsistency here, which is the naming of the provinces after locations instead of provincial and regional names. I'm not very sure what naming convention to use when creating the map, so we'd be glad to receive feedback. Example being Artois instead of Arras. Anjou instead of Angier. Huh. Well, we'll see. I don't care all that much at the end of the day about the names. Oh, the most important part of the damn. I wonder what the I wonder what the climate map is like. Damn.
Don't worry, there are more important maps. Trust me.
Such as Flatland.
Flat land.
There's mountains in southern France. Mountains. Geneva is flatland. Plateau. Huh. I kind of like the existence of plateau as a terrain type. That's interesting. Vegetation, and nothing particularly crazy either, unsurprisingly.
Lots of farmland on the sign. No surprise there.
Lots of just grasslands as well, but farm. Farmlands in farmland plateaus in Switzerland. That's probably very good then, huh? I wonder how that works.
Rich, fertile land.
Delicious. I do wonder what the hash marks are. Is that
Impassable.
impassibles? Oh, they're impassable mountains. That's what's going on there. Right. And the last map. Oh boy.
Well, that's not the last one.
No?
This
Oh,
more.
okay. Well,
This is just culture, I believe. Yeah, this is culture.
yes. Rest in peace, Cornish. Rest in peace, Cornish in the top. Oh. Santoignese. Gosh, this is so many cultures. Angevin.
It's giving me flashbacks to oh, what's it? Stereotypically French Warhammer Fantasy. It's slipping my mind.
This is giving you flashbacks to when we looked at the Bretonian map, the culture map mode in CK.
Yeah, a little.
Oh, nice. We've got Alpine French. Okay. And then Provençal.
The next map is the most important one.
Arpitan.
Yes, that's normal.
Yeah, that's a pretty classic one.
I haven't heard that name. That's interesting.
Oh, I'm surprised.
And of course, here you've got
because yeah, the Mountain French, which is basically Arpitan, is a common, ooh, there was this niche kind of, French culture, in this region that we want to include when we subdivide up France's cultures. It's a pretty common thing in any mod that goes into greater granularity.
Well, it is one of the larger cultures, interestingly. Though the regions here I can't imagine being too developed. That is interesting. I very much wonder how cultural acceptance works. And how you manage all of these different French boys.
You don't. You do what
You
France did in history, and you assimilate them all into French, into Francian.
This is true. I mean, that's what I'll try to do.
Who needs regionalism?
When you have Francian.
Paris. All shall become as Paris.
Why have Gallo and Breton when it could all be Francian?
No, I agree with Nimcraft. Make it all Angevin. Let England come in.
Angevin. The rulers of England better be Angevin culture at the start.
I think that's older, but let them reform it.
You don't think that you think they're too Englishified by now?
Maybe there's still a good shot. They might be Angevin still though.
But the Black Prince in Gascony.
Well, he's not going to be Gascon, I can tell you that.
Please.
He's not. Well, he might be in Gascony, but he's not going to be Gascon culture.
Let him have an event. I don't know. Angevin would be the culture.
Also,
You're right.
He wasn't giving Gascony at this time, anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. No one kills the French like no one kills French like Gaston. Stupid. I grew up with mom and her English lover. Well, there's so many German cultures, and then you've just got like Dutch or whatever this like Flemish is, I guess.
That's probably Flemish.
Yeah. Picard, Walloon. Rest in peace, Walloon. You're not what you once were. All right.
Praise be Picard, best Star Trek captain.
True. The next map is the most important one, Joffrey. It gives you a lot of detail.
Not a very interesting situation. Only about 0.8% of the population is a different religion. Judaism. We haven't portrayed any Catholic heresy yet. Maybe Cathar should still have some room in Languedoc and Montailleur, an Occitan village from 1294 to 1324. Points to. Also, while taking the screenshot, we improved the view of the map mode by making it responsive to zoom levels. Tragically, we don't see... There's not enough... There's just 0.1% of the population. There's not enough Jewish people to make any hash marks. Please give us Cathars. I want to play as, like, one of the vassals down here and have the option of flipping Cathar and just having a miserable game for no reason. I want to do that, please.
What is it with people wanting the most masochistic starts?
I want to play Andorra, Vector. All of Iberia must be into bishopric. Also, the hash marks that you're talking about, you'll not achieve anything as a Cathar. Yes, I will! Tulu will rise again! But yeah, the point about Muslims in Iberia, that we saw on the previous... I just closed it, but I just closed it and I'm going to open it up again. I shouldn't have closed it. Should have known better.
Wizard should know better.
Oh yeah, the culture map mode of Iberia was interesting. I really liked this.
It's
I remember.
so much less broken up than the French culture.
Yeah,
Just the
but it looks...
huge blob of Castilian.
I really like the way it looks. It's very satisfying to look at for some reason. How all the lines of it, the way it really gives you that like Reconquista feel. Whereas like the Galicians didn't go anywhere. It's just Portugal came into existence, and then the Asturleonese going south, Portuguese going south, Aragonese, Catalans, everyone's just encroaching south, and then Castile won. Like the Castilians won, so they get the biggest spread as it goes, which is just interesting to look at. I think it's satisfying. And I really love the colors. All the colors that we've seen of the culture map mode, it looks so just... They're so rich. It's like, oh, I just want to grab them. Grab that culture. Here. But that's not what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at the religious map mode here. So the point about... the point about Muslims in Iberia that was brought up, there's enough Muslim minorities in some parts of the countries here that it shows up as hash marks to show particularly large amounts of minorities. So even in the southern reach as of Navarre, there is in fact a decent population, and as a result, I doubt it would be too difficult, relatively speaking, to as Aragon, for example. They've got a lot of chunky bits here. I bet you could swap if you really felt like it without as much trouble as you might in EU4. What's a challenge in like playing England? I don't know. We haven't got the game yet. But the challenge in England is, I guess, not losing your land and instead taking land and then becoming the Angevin kingdom, I guess. Well, wow.
You must form the Holy Britannian Empire.
Hail Britannia! Hail Britannia! Now I've got that song stuck in my head. That goddamn Holy Britannian Empire theme. And then we get...
I know it to be true.
The goods map mode. I love... These are so funny to look at, the goods map modes. Because you see some really funny goods sometimes. Just lead just sticks out so much as a color. Lots of fruit and wine all in various places, I see.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun battle between the French and the Italians over who makes more wine. Who gets the
Yes.
trade bonus?
Sand? Yes. Yes, Nemcraft. Sand is a resource. Sand is in fact a resource that you could.
Sand is needed for concrete. It's needed for glass. I mean, there is a purpose for sand.
I don't think they were using concrete at this point. I think they gave up on it
Excited.
after Rome because there was some architect that didn't like how concrete looked, so they decided not to use it anymore,
Yes,
even though it was
it
better
wasn't
than everything.
I believe medieval concrete was a thing, but yes, it wasn't as
Also,
widespread.
gold in the middle.
Oh, there is! Actual gold. It's not even silver. It's straight up there is gold. And that's owned by real France, isn't it? Yeah, that's owned by actual France.
Okay, yeah, a quick Google search. Concrete was still used in a limited capacity, but it was nowhere near as widespread as in the ancient days, and the formula varied much more, so it was much more inconsistent. So,
Armas, are you saying that you don't like the concept of being a villager in Normandy and being like told by your father, listen, son, I I am a sand shoveler. My father was a sand shoveler. My father's father's father was a sand shoveler, and one day you too will be a sand shoveler. Hands you shovel and fucking bucket. What we do is of vital importance. We shovel sand for the king.
I don't
It's
like
coarse,
sand.
rough, and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
There better be an advertisement for that. Or an
I
achievement for that,
imagine
rather.
it's probably used for glass, and that might be it at the moment.
There is
Glass and
actually
maybe
some
concrete in the very late game.
in Spain. There's gold. There's gold in Toledo, I think it is.
There's some silver in a few
And
places, I believe.
Yeah,
there's
you
also
can
at
see
least one
silver
more
here
silver.
by Cordoba. There.
Yeah. I'm
Don't
so
think there was
happy
any
there's
more
silver
though.
now.
Oh, that's good. That's gonna feel so good. I want to see gold and silver as like production types, and it's like, oh, you need it for this. Like you this production method for something just needs silver
You
or
can't
gold.
produce iPhones if you don't have gold.
Both are
And
apparently extremely important for electronics.
don't
Oh,
forget
yeah.
the crucial export of Andorra, iron. Listen, it's better than like fur, I guess. They got something. They make it's opposed to the wool and stone next to it. They make iron. Someone's gonna want that. You got to send everyone to the end. The bishop, the fucking bishop of Andorra, he's gonna send everyone to that iron mine.
One day they shall come to refer to the Bishop of Andorra as His Most Holy Excellency, the Iron Pope.
The Iron Pope. No, no.
The Iron Heresy.
I don't think France
Drac.
has silver though. I don't see
Drac, Vicky does not have uses for gold and silver mines. It just is money. It just
Yeah,
makes it money.
It's a lot of money though. It is so much money.
It is, yes. But in EU5, it's going to be like you can use silver and gold to mint coins at the cost of inflation, or you can just sell it. Or you could use it in production methods for stuff. I don't know what. I don't got any idea off the top of my head what you need, but some stuff you'll need to make. Gold. You'll need gold to make. Or upkeep.
We needed to
Well.
make the iPhones, I said.
Vector, if you stick around in the Mega to Vic 3, you will have so many gold mines. It's not even funny. You'd have so much minting.
Also, I guess you'll have oil. You'll have my homeland. You'll have Alberta. Probably jewelry. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, because you when you make like a city, you can build structures in the city, and then have those buildings be a production method for something, and you could just be like, oh, this city has this building, and now they produce jewelry, and that would, I guess, take gold as an intake. So you could probably, as France, make a city within the vague area of this gold, and probably end up using the gold as a production method to make jewelry and sell it. And the nobles probably want jewelry, so that's probably worth a lot.
We love
Yeah.
gold.
There's a gems province? Oh, there's some gems. Yeah. Damn. That's not
Fires.
that's not held by France itself, though? No. Yeah, it is. That's also held by France. France has all the good counties, apparently. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff in France, it seems like. At least what I'd imagine to be good. Nice variety of all sorts of things. And then, of course, you've got sturdy grains and wheat. Freaking sturdy grains, wheat, legumes, olives, wild game. You just need to... Actually, wild game's probably a little more useful because it has more niche uses. Like,
Christ obviously has paid off Paradox to portray France in a good light.
We shall see what happens when we get a better view of other places. I can see there's some gems. Just there's a little bit. There's gems up in the.
I'm seeing
in Germany.
marble, interestingly, in England, which I
haven't noticed before. As well as sand.
Ooh, and silver in England.
Yo!
And tin in Cornwall, which makes sense because that was one of the ancient sources of tin.
Fucking Bronze Age tin shipping routes. Could you imagine?
So insane.
Can you imagine being a dude who's just mining tin in Cornwall, and then you just have these people show up on boats, and you have no concept of the fact that they're eventually going to this place called Mesopotamia. You have no idea. You just know there's these people that show up on your shore and they want your tin and they will take it someplace. You wonder how China looks? I do too. I also very much wonder that, but we'll see it in time.
It looks like a choir of Mongolian throat singers.
Oi, oi. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have the genes for it. Sorry. I don't think there's too much else to look at on this map, though. And this is probably the last one. No, we actually do have a few more. Not that they're especially noteworthy, but we have a market map. We could see the markets of France. Yes. We've got just a little cut-off bit of the Paris market. There's the Barcelona market. Okay. Barcelona market, Bordeaux market, Paris, and then you've got London. Yes. Almost no farmlands in the Dutch land? Well, what did you think? Did you expect that there was going to be a lot of farmlands in the Low Countries?
It's swamp.
There's some in like Flanders isn't swamp. Yeah, it isn't. It's just flat. But rest ain't. But here we've got our markets. There's another little bit of some other market from Iberia there, but ooh. Navarre is in the Bordeaux market. Wish we could see where the capital of it is. Or maybe that's what these lines are. Yeah, that's what these lines probably are. Is it Paris market, capital, Bordeaux market, Bordeaux? What a surprise! We'll see. We see. I guess I'm curious what happens when Bordeaux is absorbed into England.
Probably still
markets are dynamic. Yeah, markets are in fact dynamic. They will change over the course of the game. And multiple times during development, they keep flirting with the idea of whether or not there should be an Antwerp market. For a time, and the Low Countries were largely in the London market. Then other times they had their own, and right now, Flanders is in the Paris market, but the rest of the Low Countries are apparently seemingly in the Antwerp market. Bordeaux is, yes, Bordeaux is in Bordeaux. But it makes me wonder. We'll see what eventually, I guess, when we see the game or get our hands on it, we'll see what happens. In like over a year from now, we'll see what happens when Bordeaux Aquitaine gets integrated. What happens to that market? Because it's probably not going to be suddenly in the London market from that far away, I'm going to be honest. The Bordeaux market goes all the way up there. Jeez. A lot on the coast. Why does it have so much control? Why is it going so much along the coast? Jeez.
Power of England.
I guess. Paris already had replaced the fairs of Champagne as the main trading center of the region, driven by the growth of the crown lands and the royal power in the 13th century. Apart from that, we have the market of Bordeaux and Aquitaine. Yeah, just tell me about the other ones around. No.
Nope.
No.
No.
I don't get to know. Population, and also how it looks with colors when you have the county clicked. Paris,
Density.
centralizing France has since UK. Yes.
That's just how many more of the 5.646 million are in Paris compared to the rest of it.
And next we look at the Baltic. But
Invest in Eastern Poland.
So France, the de facto France country, has 5.6 million in it, and when you click on the country, it shows this then highlight of how much you own,
Essentially,
like where the pop is. So
mode when you click on your country in current EU4.
And as you okay, that makes sense, and it's just here showing how ludicrously overpopulated Paris is to the rest of the country. Which is probably good.
Coming in about 10 to 15 years.
As of,
Overpopulation, I don't think is going to be a good thing during that time.
I mean, it's a good thing for now that the French crown has so much of the population, but I think that that Paris is gonna. However many of the that's millions. That's millions of people in Paris, and it's gonna just go boo. Okay, what is that spot?
5 million in Paris, but hundreds of thousands.
Wait.
300.
374,000. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's still a fair distinction, I can see, yeah. That is so much more than anywhere else. 3 times, basically, any other place in the region. It's like 100, like double the size of some places. And that finishes up the main segment of this. Paris is the most popular city in Europe as of this moment, pre-Black Death. It was more populated than Constantinople pre-Black Death.
Constantinople was already in decline at this stage, per my recollection.
This is after the Fourth Crusade. They're having
that's a rough one. Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on what's the most populous city in Europe, but I would guess Paris. And if not, it's definitely in the top. It's definitely number 2. I don't know what other one would be higher at this stage.
Highly doubt anything else would like. Rome is probably its competition, but it wouldn't be enough, I imagine.
Rome has never recovered since Justinian's reconquest.
Wait, was that Pavia? Not. Yeah, this was Pavia that posted it. Not Johann! No! Where's Johann?
Let us go.
Surely Johann will still grace us with his presence in the responses.
Hey, Pavia's pretty decent too.
Yeah, I'm kidding around. I'm kidding around. I'm not anywhere near famous enough for there to be any.
Pavia watching the stream, hearing you talk about this, like, all right, this guy's not getting early access.
There's no way that I'm like known enough that Pavia would hear any of this. But still, it's like, I really enjoy what they've said so far. Yeah. For now, keep on that grind. I'm curious how many views. I'm curious how many people are gonna watch this and then next week's, because the number has been going up of people that watch these. So turns out if you keep consistently doing something that is different from what most people are doing, because no one else is like doing a sit down and stream just rambling about it. They do their fancy edited videos. Wow. But anyway. Rome isn't that big. It's fine. It's fine. Rome is fine. I'm sure. Rip independent Flanders. You had a good 2-week run. The tags between the Low Countries and France, and considers that after the Battle of Cassel, we was reinstated as the Count. Its situation was more akin to that of vassalage. Rest in peace. France is going to be goated with the sauce in this game. They're going to be an absolute monster. I'm terrified.
I mean, checks out for medieval history. DBA.
Gosh, this is going to be so many French vassals. King of France declares war. Hordes of unwashed masses march forth.
Well, that's assuming that the vassals all heed his commands.
We'll see. We'll see how that works.
The
Yeah.
French crown has not reached that point yet.
Just looked it up. Paris is the most populated, followed by Milan and Granada. Oh. Forgot that Granada's a big deal.
Milan would have been my other guess for this. So,
it's going to be a potentially fun country, I think.
Granada?
Milan.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna go like.
Italy is has always been my favorite place to play in EU4, so I'm really, really curious how they do it in EU5.
Goddamn 176k in Granada. I forgot we saw this earlier in the week. Just absurd. Just absurdity. It's a fucking mountain, isn't it? 176k? What's the terrain? Oh, it's plateau. That's probably fine then. I still don't know. I'm not used to how this works yet. But do we get plateau, cold, arid, and then do we get a? I mean, sure we could see its raw resource, medicinal herbs. We don't get to see its. They didn't show its Oh wait, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. A flat. It's a farmland plateau. All right, they're making Granada something special. Yeah, Milan's probably pretty cool. I bet. Laughs at all Andalusia. It's not going to be bad. Rome was a sad backwater for a long time. It only passed its ancient population numbers in like the last 100 years. No, that's terrible. Aww.
Well, in ancient days, it had like 1.5 million people living in it, so understandable it took them a long time to actually surpass those, because we didn't have cities over 1 million, in the medieval period, really.
Exactly. I bet that, Granada's probably going to be an absolute fortress. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. It's probably the sort of game where you could play incredibly tall and go full on that whole Alhambra vibe. Begin the learning.
And begin the smart. To see how they represent Granada in this start date, because the only reason why Granada basically survives this 100 years is because Castile is too busy with its own internal problems, so they just keep getting money out of Granada instead of wiping them out.
Spain having internal problems, who would have thought?
Yeah. Hey, I've seen this episode before. What do you mean? It's a new episode.
See, the sign of the quality of the mod is just how many sides the Spanish Civil War has.
Makes me think of that a very British Civil War mod that has been in development forever and apparently has like 50-sided Civil War.
God.
I mean, the mod entirely focuses on the British Isles, so yeah.
It's fair.
Markets aren't final. It's being tweaked. Wow, what a surprise.
Work in progress.
Future
Hot
Empire.
code. Hot code.
France purchase of Valentinois. Purchase of it?
Yeah, I don't know the background there.
They but wait.
So it was one of the
That's one of the
adds in
princes.
The HRE.
Yeah.
That's one
I
of the
think they're
mostly
blue
adds
at
in
the start.
HRE to the, I think they're
The
green.
they're here in Vienne.
Oh, I'm looking at it. They're blue. Viennois is green, but Valentinois is blue.
Okay.
And they hang out down there, and they're please don't let France just purchase them. I don't want it. Don't take this from the HRE, please no.
I mean, it'd probably be an event that the Emperor gets.
Imperial incident.
France wants to buy this prince from us. They could do that? They're asking.
Yeah, theoretically you can buy whatever the hell they want.
I buy Vienna.
Would it be possible to have an option that would allow vassals to be exactly the same color? Exactly! So that, like, exactly the same color and your name goes over them, I guess. An option, allow the borders of vassals? Yeah. That would allow the borders of the HRE to appear. About Dauphine Valenois. There will be an event about that. The other graphical options, yeah. They're reading the feedback, and we'll see. I like more options, it's good. No, please, France, don't just take it. I don't want it.
Nom, 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 nom.
I never have.
I like that they're saying that, yeah, they keep getting requests from people to make the fish blue. Please. Where's fish? Yeah, fish is like this gold color. No. I would. Yeah, swap the color with livestock or something. Yeah, I don't care what livestock is colored. But don't make fish gold. If anything, take wheat's color. Make the wheat like a golden color, because that's iconic.
No, make wheat the wild game color.
Yes. They're not fishing goldfish, and goldfish don't look like that either. Goldfish are like frickin' orange.
But Joffrey, it's the snack that smiles back.
Anyway, it's Aquitaine is a fief of England. Diversity of cultures in France. Wise Castilian culture. There are a few non-Castilian pops in southern Iberia, but it's 1337 is too soon to be considered an Andalusian identity. Please don't. It's really weird. Andalusian identity. I mean, I don't have an opposition to like having Andalusian culture as a thing, but like the way they did it in EU4, where Andalusian is the culture of Granada as well, is just, it don't work, man. It don't work. But like,
well, to my knowledge, modern Andalusian culture is like a 19th century sort of development. It's not really a medieval one.
Not confused with the Andalusi identity, which we consider the Muslim Iberian culture of Andalus. Oh, so they'll have a culture of Andalusi. Okay.
Yeah, you can see that on the map in the Iberian map.
Did they actually? I didn't. Oh! I don't know why I didn't register that for some reason. I feel silly for that. But yeah, that's right. I remember I talked about this the other day and how it's you can see a lot of the hash marks. So it's like, oh, look, there's still lots of the Andalusi just in places all over Iberia in minorities. But a lot of them have consolidated in the south, as is expected. Yeah, I'm very. It's very interesting. I really enjoy this sort of thing. I can't wait until they're released and I get to just click on the Andalusi culture and be like, where have they all gone? Where have they all gone? How many of them?
I'm
Sorry?
just hoping that in this game they keep the Turks separate from the Arab culture group.
Please don't. Fucking Levantine culture. And it's
Put
just
them in the Byzantine
everyone
group.
in Arabia, and then Syria, and up through the Turks. It's just, oh! Yeah.
Like I said, put them in the Byzantine culture group. That is what we need.
I
You want to
actually.
get targeted by both Greek and Turkish assassins. That's how you.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how you get targeted by
Yes.
Greek and Turkish.
Because it would be hilarious to put them in the same group. Even if it is more accurate than them being in the Arab group.
Oh. Actually, I've just had a thought. With this culture map mode, and then the one we saw of France, they're all such different colors. They're not the same color at all. Catalans, Aragonese, Basques, none of these are the same color at all.
They're based off their primary tags, most likely.
Catalan and Castilian are pretty dang close.
Okay, but that's a coincidence, I think, based on the rest of these.
No, I think they're based off their tags. If you, their primary tags, like Leon is normally purple in EU4, so I imagine it's going to be the same in EU5. Portuguese is the same color as Portugal. Aragonese is the same color as Aragon. I imagine Catalonia is going to be a tag, and if you release it, that's probably going to be its color.
That's gross, but fair enough. You can't have this country be the same. Don't work. The colors don't. They can't make the. But anyway,
Joffrey, Castile is clearly yellow, and Catalan is clearly gold.
But yeah, Nem, the fact that I'm bringing this up, as you said, you really hate regional culture groups. This is making me think that the system is going to be more nuanced than that, and I think that it is probably based on its primary tag, but like with Leon, and that's very. I'm very curious about how that might work. What is the significance of this? The fact that they're not colored the same. That means there probably isn't just culture group. There's probably some sort of like, the Iberian Christian cultures, they're similar and give. I don't know, but the Basques are considered very different, and I don't know.
I think the colors being very different from each other means they're not going to be related. I imagine it's going to be very similar to CK3 or Vic3, where there's a heritage. I don't think the colors are indicators of who shares a heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of system like that, so that the French can be more tolerant of the other French cultures than the Basques, for example.
Yeah.
But
No, it doesn't, because it's the French.
Or because they're the French, they just don't like
Humanize all
anyone
their
that's true.
culture.
That's true. Yep. French button press to convert all of France to Francian. Exactly. But I think, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be not as important. Maybe there's more. I'm just imagining the. I feel like there's something here. Is all I'm getting at, is the fact that they're allowing them to be very significantly different colors based on their tags, obviously based on the tags. It makes me think that there's probably more nuance to what causes cultural acceptance, and I'm very curious how that might work. Where maybe it's possible to, in time, make, for example, the Andalusi a culture that is as accepted as the Australianese, without just being like, spend the burb mana, and now they are one of your 3 slots for accepted cultures. The burb mana. You think it's very possible for cultures to have attributes because you imagine the Turks will actually be categorized in the Oghuz group and should have a very hard time in the entire region. Well, I would certainly hope so. Yeah, I would hope that the Turks are considered the outsider. That's like, I want to see a lot of wacky shenanigans with cultures in Anatolia. We'll see when we get there. Next is going to be the Baltic, so that should be fun too. I want to see the Teutons. I want to see what the Teuton culture is like, for example. What's
German, probably.
the Germans
German.
coming in? Is it like the same though? Is it the same German? Is it a lot of cultures? How much? Like how does? Did they make a new one?
I wouldn't be shocked if they have old Prussian culture in the region.
Yeah.
Oh
they
yeah,
might
yeah.
be Russian.
There's going to be for sure old Prussian, but then I would not. But I'm trying to imagine what they're going to do for like the knights themselves. Like what are the knights coming in? Are they a new German culture like they did for the like Riga in EU4 is this Baltan culture in the Germanic group. So do they make a new culture that like combines a bunch of different German cultures, or do they just say, "Fuck it, here's a million different small amounts of different German pops"?
I imagine for practicality's sake, they'll probably merge them together, either under a new culture or under Saxon, since the Saxon Germanic culture was the predominant one in the Teutons, to my understanding.
Rest in peace, Sorbians. Rest in peace, Sorbians. Exactly going for the jugular. Yes, it was on Andalusia. Brittany being depicted as a French vassal. There might happen some events in Brittany that could make that potentially what?
That's what started the 100 Years' War, the War of Breton Succession.
Oh! Well, East and West Brittany are two different cultures too. Woo! And that's how they split in that's how East and West. That's how Brittany splits in that succession too, is East and West. But whatever, we'll see. Because yeah, you get the English and the French Brittany. Rivers not navigable. We have that on our radar. Can't promise anything. He's talking about navigable rivers. Yeah, we'll see how that works. Interesting how hard you're leaning on language as a culture aspect to the point of differentiating Gallo from Breton culture. Huh. Are there culture groups, as we know them in Britain, be grouped? There are culture groups in a certain way, and we'll talk about that in a future Tinto talk this summer. Exciting! I'm very curious what they're going to do to lump them together. How do they get classified? Probably, as we were discussing, some sort of heritage. But maybe there's a way that you can... I'm sure there's a way that you're able to... Well, you have to, of course, be able to gain cultural acceptance with other people somehow. And I am hoping that it is not a simple case of you have a capacity for people that you accept, and you just slot someone in, because that feels so artificial and gamey in EU4. It's like, how am I supposed to feel? It's like, oh yeah, I'm playing a tolerant country where I'm like accepting all these cultures, when it's just a case of spend the burb mana to fill one of my 3 slots. That's silly. Nah, I want it to be like I want it to be a process that you deliberately go through. Like in Drac is here, so he knows what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like how Imperator does it, where it's a drawn out process and it's got positives and negatives. I want that to be how it works, but we'll see. We shall see, because another Tinto talk talking about culture. Tinto talk talking about. That's what this is. This is a Tinto talk talking about. Anyway, incentives to give out new appanage. It's one of the tools that can be used to manage a big country. Yes, you can make more!
I sincerely hope that that's good to do, and it's not just a LARPy thing. I hope that it is genuinely beneficial to release subjects like that as France, because you simply can't use that land.
The thing is, though, when you've got, like, Castile, it's really large and centralized. Same with like, I wonder how this is differentiated, because you've got like Aragon here, they've got Majorca. It's like, oh, okay, these are the islands. It's the islands. You make that its own subject. That makes sense to me. I get that. But then it's like Castile doesn't have any, and it's like I would totally, I know as a player, and hey, maybe it's true that if you're playing as Castile, you're playing as the Crown of Castile, you might, for example, want to release Galicia, or however it works. I don't know how they're going to make creating new vassals work, but maybe as Castile, you'd want to, like, this is north of the mountains, you want to be like, all right, Galicia and Asturias are a vassal now.
Castile had huge problems.
Yeah.
Because of issues like this. So them being one big tag, I could very easily see as causing the peripheries to just have immense unrest and troubles.
So maybe then, as we're discussing, it will actually be a beneficial thing to say, however making them works. Maybe there's tags off the bat. Maybe there's like just a button to be like, create a new thing. It's like, maybe it's just like, I want to land my second cousin twice removed in Galicia, and then I'm going to add all of this land to his appanage. And I guess it's probably a unique thing to France that makes it better. France probably just has a better version of like creating vassals that's unique to them, for example. But I imagine,
because, for example, the Yuan dynasty has very similar things to appendages. So I could see them being reflavored differently based on region and based on thing, but I don't see why they'd keep it locked to just France or the French culture.
oh yeah, I'm just saying that France likely has a reflavored, so appenge, as they're saying, and it's probably better in some way. That's all I'm sure that like other people can do it, but I doubt everyone has access to it in the same way.
Well, it's probably tied to something like, oh, you have to be a monarchy in order to form an appendage, that sort of thing.
That's a good point. Be a monarchy, maybe have this much size, be large enough or something. I don't know. Who bloody knows?
No Venetian appendages. This is so sad.
That would be rather silly. But that's an excellent way of like, oh, there's a positive to it. If you're a monarch, you can set those up to try and better manage the peripheries of your terrain when you're not so great at centralizing. Because yeah, as they've discussed, having a really large country be centralized isn't necessarily that great at the beginning of the game with your crappy tech. Because they've talked like, oh yeah, well, along the coast is great for like control, but like up here, we saw where is it? The market, all of the coast up here is in the Bordeaux market because they got no control of the sea here. None.
Also
it's
because
terrible.
The market capital is in the very south of Iberia.
Oh, it's in Sevilla. Of course, it's in fucking Sevilla.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's probably a big reason why, because the competition is so far away.
I would, as Spain in this. It's like, oh, armchair general. It's like, oh, surely you want to make Sevilla your capital and like exert control, but they don't have enough of the coast is the thing, so it isn't actually useful.
Madrid or Toledo are
it's better,
much more central to your entire realm, even if it isn't quite as efficient because it's overland.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation based on their state. England has London, which is on the coast. There's a lot of coast around Britain. It's pretty easy to navigate around that, relatively speaking. It's not as dense and.
This is why I think the Byzantines are probably going to be cracked, because so much of their land is coastal and very easy to reach. So even though they have they have to represent their internal strife differently, because control-wise, just because everything is coastal, it's probably going to be very high.
They also they're very well known for setting up effective vassals. So I imagine that they'll have their themes. They can probably do their theme system to a degree, setting up vassals to keep their control.
There is also China, which under the actual Chinese, not the Yuan like at the start, but like Ming, which forms in this or couple decades after this, was very bureaucratic. So it wouldn't have a vassal system like this. It'd probably have some completely different system.
It's so much to wonder about in regards to that. But yeah, I can totally. Oh, wait, Sevilla market. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. I forgot because it shows for those who don't know markets, how vibrant the color is of the market shows the access to it as well as the control. So up here, there's actually very little control from Sevilla up here, unsurprisingly, especially with the coast here. It's probably not hard at all for you to swap the northern coast of Spain and Iberia into the Bordeaux market. I don't know how useful that would be, but like these are the sort of things that makes me so excited for this game because you get to ask these questions like, oh, what resources are produced here? How valuable is this land? Is it really useful for me to get this in my market? Do I really want stuff they've got? Things like that. That's really exciting for me. But yeah, up here, this is so what you're talking about. Who said that? Yeah, exactly. You're talking about like releasing a subject. This being so gray here, but it's not very strong from anyone else in particular. It's pretty distant from Barcelona's power. It's getting pretty distant from Bordeaux here. Though, yeah, the coast you could totally assert control. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you created a vassal up here and made a new spot, it's like somewhere up on the north. This is going to be the new center of trade for the north there. That would totally dominate this area. Like you would have so much more control is the idea. Do you want to do that? I don't know. There's a lot. How can you actively set it up? I don't know. We'll have to see.
This is the world telling you you must build roads.
You must build roads. Effective roads. Effective. You get like bailiffs. I think we were talking. We were had it explained to us that see the Byzantines have Philadelphia, which is completely separate from the rest of the country, and you will have literally 0% control in that area if you don't construct a, like you need to set up a bailiff, which is a building you make, and that will give you some in exclaves like that. But even then, it's going to be terrible. So if I was the Byzantines, I'd make Philadelphia its own vassal state instantly. I would totally do that. It's like, you govern yourself from there, because they basically did IRL. Govern yourself, manage it, just keep that place defended, kind of thing, you know? VK3 has the market access system. Yeah, because EU5 is stealing so much stuff from different games. It is relentlessly thieving. Unfair. Unadulterated theft. Anyway, moving along from talking about setting up vassals and being excited to find out one day how much you want to do that. Game rules to disable vassals taking on their overlord's colors. There is, yeah, unsurprisingly. That's a really big blob. Brittany is clear and more aligned with France after the marriage. Here's France. Shall we consider it fully independent country, one that has submitted to France? Decided to go with the option of considering it a vassal, but we're open to feedback on the matter. The fact, for my personal opinion on that subject, is the fact that we're gonna so quickly in the game have the whole succession war thing, where I don't think it really matters one way or another, because Brittany is gonna be split into being the France and the English part anyway, so... game rules allowing locations to change its name. Yep. It's not possible currently. What? Country name changed to Brittany to Brège. All the Western countries would. Huh. Make that cultural transition. So it's not possible currently. Damn, CK3 is ahead of the game. Cultural names for your nation. Not that I want that in this.
The fact that he says currently means that it's a possibility for the future.
I'm not sure. I mean, I kind of like the idea. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of in EU5 you being able to have, like, the Byzantines have their fancy localized name.
Well, we've already seen that there's a game rule that they've added for the Byzantines name. So if we could just
Ah!
do another game rule, basically use all English names for all the countries, or use endonyms. So instead of calling it the Inca, it's called Wanitswayu. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Damn it.
Bold of you to try. God damn.
Or as mentioned, instead of Brittany, it becomes Brej. So on and so forth.
Yes.
So that they go based off whatever the primary culture is of the title. So if for
Nimcraft.
some reason you decide to shift Brittany to English primary culture, it returns to being Brittany.
Nimcraft linking me the War of Britain succession. And it makes it sound like it's a fief of France. So that was up in question. That was for debate. At that point in time, it seems like it's gonna be, if it's gonna be meta. What are you saying, Drac? Navarre has that like city in the major port. Navarre is in Bordeaux, but it's not like on the coast. But yeah, I imagine it's probably going to be very meta for the early parts of the game to be rather decentralized. If you've got a large country, it's probably going to be very important for you to have the farther reaches of your country be vassals so that you have any control there. Because you won't have control there, but if you give it to your vassal, it means they exert their own control over the region. And then you just let them manage it so you actually get any of the money. And that the place is actually able to manage itself. Because otherwise it's just fucked. Just... Accept suggestions for localist names. Ooh, that's cool. Accepting suggestions. Yeah. It's a long way from release, so they'll have lots of time to just have people toss localization names at them. English possessions in France would be a PU. Don't think we'd be able to solve this matter, considering that France and England would not. Like this. Like, what? Are the English possessions in France a PU with England while also being a subject of France? Because I don't know. And then Pavia is also just like, we don't know how to handle it because France and England didn't know how to handle it either. Huh. Yeah. Okay, but they're gonna be de facto a vassal of England, or I guess PU. I don't know. He's being a little vague with the wording. Special event for the rise of Burgundy. Taking into consideration the Duchy of Burgundy existing is not. Yeah, it's not the same duchy. It's not even the Bourgognes yet.
It's the same duchy, but it's a completely different dynasty.
No Bourgognes. So sad.
Yeah, not yet. I've returned. I have my dinner. I'm happy.
No. He has returned with dinner just in time to find I did not know. I did not know there were no Bourgognes yet. This poses us the challenge of creating an extreme railroad to create the conditions of the rise of Burgundy that you mentioned. In any case, we want to read your opinions on the matter. I don't know what I think in regards to that. How on earth do you handle that?
They should not railroad the rise of Burgundy, because so many things had to go exactly the way they did to have that happen. Like, literally, if the Duke that it starts with has a kid, it all gets thrown out of whack.
I would not mind. I definitely would like there to be a way for the Bourgognes, like there's a chance for them to become in charge of Burgundy, and maybe just a little bit of like their ambition, just a little bit of spice in that regard, but nothing in regards to, as you're saying, yeah, I don't want them to super hard railroad, like, oh, at this point Burgundy then does this epic marriage and then gets all the Low Countries. Wow, yeah, that's just silly. There's like, I think there could be a chance under some very specific circumstances, but not like they shouldn't put a ton of effort into making sure that is a possibility. Like, it'd be kind of neat if some of that could happen. Is the point? It's like,
I like Burgundy though.
I like Burgundy, so I would like it to be, okay, under these circumstances, sure, the Burgonds can rise. They can actually be in charge of the duchy. It could happen. And then if they are in charge and they do, maybe they've got some incentive to do something. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But if they make this marriage and these people like them, then maybe they have a chance of getting a PU on someone or something. Like, shenanigans happen, you know? Oh. But it's a very tricky thing. The time period that they're going into and how granular they're making the game, that's a little tricky. The Magyar name of Hungary. Oh god. Oh god, imagine Hungary returned to Magyar.
I don't remember what it was called. It was like Magyaristeg or something. It was a Z, not a T.
Next question and answer. Could we get a market in Dijon to stop Barcelona and Genoa markets crossing the Alps? Also, the Genoa's gonna cross the Alps anyway. That's like, the Dijon market's gonna take over Swabia? Sure, buddy. Also to reduce Paris market blob, another important city. A player has the option to create a new market in Lyon or Toulouse if that would be the best economic option during the game. You can just kind of make one. Well, in that case, I probably would, based on how this looks.
Every location a market.
I would probably. I doubt you could. I don't know how you'd be able to because it's not in like your own market. I don't know how they do controlling markets. Like, could you just say, I know this is in the Barcelona market, but I want to make my own. I want to make. I mean, you don't have Toulon, but.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you've got Toulouse, rather. That's the example he gave. Yeah, you make Toulouse a market. Grab southern France. It depends on what you're going for, because the ocean access would give you more control over the sea. But then, I like that it makes me ask these questions. It's like, oh, if it's in Lyon here, if Lyon is like over here somewhere, you could try to grab more control over the North Alps and just centralize what you've got. Make sure that you've got better control over what you've got. But then if you put it down here, you might be able to push out over the sea, even though it doesn't push into Germany. It's, oh, jeez. Oh.
Control
Market.
yourself.
No. No. I would not. And then, as I had said down here, definitely you want to either set up a vassal or make another market up here to get better control. That's what I'd say too. See what it turns out on release. Why specifically Lyon or Toulouse? Because they're probably more valuable settlements. I know what they are. The example was given. You can probably turn any shitty backwater into a crazy important center of trade if you feel like it. Go find Carcassonne.
Is Toulouse a city? I thought it was just a region, and that like Carcassonne was the main part of Toulouse.
That's why I said Carcassonne. I know that's down here somewhere. I thought Toulouse was the name of a city. But I don't know the de facto map of France. Though.
Drew, let's ask Bryce real quick.
Bryce, is Toulouse a city? Oh.
Okay, it's both Drax said.
Oh, it is both. Okay. Here I was like about to fucking pull up the de facto the freaking fragging. I wanted to look at the locations map again. But yeah, in any case, no specific reason why those particular spots, Nem. If there was a better spot, I'll just be like, I like this place more. This place is going to be a proper city. And I'm going to just change history. Oh, wow. What if I take all the population from Paris and move them down to... That's what I do. We do the Cathar crusade against the rest of France. And then you make Toulouse into the center of France. Yes. Aquitans rise up. Makes sense to portray France with feudal vassals. The presence of Normandy as a separate tag makes little sense. I don't know, man. I don't know. Normandy, Anjou, and Maine are up and up. Oh, yeah, this is what you were bringing up. Yeah. Normandy, Anjou, and Maine are appanage, and in a personal union under Prince Jean, heir of France. That's correct. We wanted to portray the granularity of his government over these territories until he became king. That's really cool, and I think that's really cool. It adds a neat bit of flavor at the beginning, where you get to see that first big, like, all right, he grabs that land. When he ascends the throne, he is in charge now, because as you said, Vector, he's the Dauphin, and which is fucking dolphin, but Prince of France, heir of France, and so yeah, he rules that land, I guess, and then yeah, when he ascends the throne, it gets absorbed back into the crown, and then that's your first little bit of yes, slowly starting to centralize, but don't centralize too much, too fast, or you'll make a big oopsie. Center of French economy at Versailles. No, stop. That's changing government from a monarchy to republic. Look, don't know anything about governments yet, but I can tell you that we're definitely not going to have appanages as a as a republic. Or a penge, as Vector is pronouncing it. He is probably correct. He is wise.
I know pronounce thing good.
Nice, niece. Please blame the French. Oh, Pavia's Castilian. Okay. Population of France. Question about looking at the population map of France. A question arose about the Black Death. Will it work similarly to EU4 institutions where it originates in a province? In this case, location. And if this is the case, the fixed location. Talk more. No, tell us now. I want to know what the Black Death works.
No.
Don't get to know.
I want to see.
God, it's gonna be so awful dealing with that. I bet.
Hey, Dark. What was that about Milan being a fun nation to play?
That honestly, that'd
Milan
probably
was-
be even better. they got
Milan was
spared
one
it.
of the few places that survived the Black Death because it instituted absolutely draconian quarantine.
So they're right next to Genoa, and they see the Black Death arrive in Genoa, and they're like, "No."
And it worked. It worked.
The Duke
Like,
of
it was-
Milan instituted an absolutely draconian quarantine, and it actually
Nice.
worked incredibly effectively.
That's awesome.
So it was
To think someone
awful,
would
but it
actually do that in
probably
history.
saved so many more lives than
Yeah,
died because of it.
I bet. But yeah, that sort of thing brings to mind the fact that you in this game will probably be able to it'll probably vary greatly depending from game to game what places are more brutally affected, and you as a player can probably make choices that will just help. You could probably make choices, and if you're lucky, I suppose, it's probably luck based because you instituting your draconian quarantine might not work out in the end.
This is
But
also shortly before Milan became a real big power in Italy. And it took a whole coalition of other Italian powers to knock them down.
So Milan is going to be probably at this point
When
strong.
everyone else is depopulated except you.
Yeah. Do you have an institution? The institution you want to avoid spawning? Well, the Black Death is going to spawn one way or another. Yes. Poland's the same with quarantine. Oh, Rack. That's so cute. The real reason that Poland didn't die from the Black Death is because there's no one in Poland. So silly. No one wants to go there. Oh, I beat down here. Can't wait for Poland as I'm Polish. One question. Will this game have terrain map similar to EU4? Or will it all be flat? He wants to see how flat Poland is. What's a Poland? Yes. Location, La Rochelle. Location. France can acquire. To be clear, can France acquire the Channel Islands from England? Do you have a fleet? Please, please, please let France be able to take them. I don't know. What would you be able to? I mean, you could probably play as the Viking, or not the Vikings. You could probably play as the Greenland colony and somehow take over all of North America. Is that a feasible idea? No, but you could probably somehow do it. I want to see now a game where someone plays as Greenland and then invades Scandinavia.
Yeah, just like how you could feasibly conquer all of Iberia as Andorra.
I knew you were gonna say that shit. I knew it.
It's
I
technically
knew it.
possible, but is it likely? No. But
What if
just like that, there is a astronomically low chance that a cow will crash through your ceiling right now and kill you. It is astronomically low, but the chance is never zero.
Okay, Dark, what if I though, as Andorra, make Andorra really nice and everyone wants to come to that mountain? Everyone wants to move to Andorra?
Andorra, great.
I don't know how much of an immigration mechanic this game would have.
Listen, I know it's the Middle Ages and peasants are kind of stuck on their turf, but like, what if...
Directed immigration wasn't a thing in this time period, I don't think. Other than the New World, I guess. But, like, people would leave areas, but they wouldn't specifically go to one spot. Or at least until the colonization of the New World.
Well, I mean, for you got examples like Granada.
Like,
everyone congregates there.
You would have people fleeing regions if there's famine, plague, devastation, but they wouldn't go to specific spot. They'd just go wherever if they were able to, and that's only if they're able to. As the chat is saying, serfs can't exactly leave.
No, stop! Stop! I'll make them up.
Until the colonization of the New World, people didn't directly go to places.
They
would only leave to avoid.
That's not 100% true because you do have like burghers moving between cities based on prospects and yada yada yada. But generally speaking, it's correct. Yes,
what if
mass migration that you see in the industrializing Victorian age?
But what if I made Andorra into a city and then became very tolerant of Jews, and then all the Jewish burghers came migrating to my city?
This man wants the diaspora so much.
That's actually not impossible, theoretically, I suppose. But that would be weird as heck. You just become a Jewish microstate.
Yes! I will make it into a Jewish bishopric now.
No, you have to depose the bishop and make it a rabbinate?
No. Well, yeah, it would be. That's what it would be, I guess.
By a rabbi, I guess.
Random Andorran converts to Islam, grabs all of the Andalusi pops, yeah. New Jerusalem up in the mountains of indeed.
Well, the whole thing of making Jerusalem and England's fair land didn't work out, so I guess we can try the Spanish Highlands instead.
Why not? Probably has just as much chance of success. Dark, do you understand? I want to grab. I need to grab all of the pops. I need to make people want to come to me. And you know what? If everyone else is tied down, then grab the Jewish diaspora. They're probably mostly burghers. I can't imagine many of them would be serfs.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be funny. You end up turning into an Ashkenazi, German-speaking, German culture, Jewish state in the Pyrenees.
I guess the Jews are the biggest example of groups that did mass migrate, but that's like the only example I can really think of.
It would probably be so difficult to, as a country like Andorra, make them want to come to you, though. But maybe there's a way. Please come to Brazil. We have iron mines. Versailles, part of the Paris location. Should it be separate? No need. No need. Modern French location names. It's very weird. The Tinto maps. already shown. Yes, we will see more detail on the Balkans and Levant. Excellent. No meme.
Meme events where Joan of Arc becomes queen.
Oh, that's a long time from now, but okay.
Yeah, that is like 100 years later. Or like
Do
80 or 90, but still.
This is the Ibro is in a PU with Navarre while being a vassal of France. No.
Glorious.
Oh. Where is this? Where is this? EVR.
That's so ugly.
Where else is no, no, no?
So much.
Oh yeah, it's the bits in Normandy.
That is abominable. Ivro.
As it should be.
Feudal inheritance is a pain in the butt.
Is it anywhere else? I think that's it. Holy, that is despicable.
4 little enclaves in France, all technically ruled by the King of Navarre.
Now the question is, how do I absorb them? How do I have now absorbed these? Instead of France, how do I play as Navarre? I mean, Navarre really is the case of like, okay, Andorra is stupid and impossible. Navarre is the real, like, actually, you could do that. It's like, ugh. But you don't want playing as Navarre. You want to integrate Evreux somehow without France annexing them. Because, like, theoretically, there's a way that I guess you could inherit them somehow as Navarre, but you don't want France to annex them. But then you also don't want that because you can't control this. You got a taste of this from Provence and EU4. Provence and EU4 wasn't that bad. Okay, it was pretty bad. Provence and EU4 is pretty bad. Okay, I have to admit, because it's got Anjou, and it's got some of Lorraine, and then it's got Lorraine as a PU, and then it's got Provence.
And France wants all your land from day one.
Yeah, even though you're the same family, it's just, oh, ugh. Disgusting. I love all the heart, the love. How do I? There. Give him another heart eyes. Yes, glorious. Navarre play is to pull an EU4 Burgundy to become the real France as Navarre. No, convert all of France to Basque culture. More likely than you think.
In the glory.
Don't mind some railroading. They'll prefer the simulation to run its course. Do dislike stuff like the Burgundian inheritance. Got still very quickly. Well, the reason I think the Burgundian inheritance is so like annoying now is because they actively made it more common. Meanwhile, before, like, originally it was just like sometimes it'll happen. But now it's like, it just always happens unless you're a player. I want to make the great Basque hegemony. I want to make the great everything hegemony as long as it's not like something that's already big, you know? It's like I want to make the great Cornish hegemony, right? It's like what
the great Chinese hegemony, because they're never big.
Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
China will grow larger.
I need to grab whatever the most shitty. Okay, I don't have the. Where's the culture one? I love the culture map of France. This is addictive. This is an addictive map to look at, my guy. My guys. There's a lot of people I'm talking to. I need to grab the most shitty culture here. Like Santoinese. And then just... Though Angevin is the play. Angevin for sure I would do. I would totally do Angevin, France. Angevin must grow larger. There it is. There won't be a Burgundian inheritance. I guess, yeah, obviously. I've already fixed too many bugs about that. Negative and a plus. Like. It can be courted in the royal domain once inheritance happens. Personal rent, but why not have the Duchy of Cornwall if that's the reason behind more historical simulation? St. Dave, UK made the English it up. Please give me Cornwall. Give me the Duchy of Cornwall, please. I want. I want it. Imagine if they did actually just have all. You have like the Duchy of Cornwall and Aquitaine as both being PUs held by the Black Prince. And then the Black Prince, if he actually survives, absorbs them all. Or you could just play Cornwall and then win. Cornish hegemony. You be quiet, exactly. Cornwall deserves only good things. So confused the maps.
We have Wales, though.
We do have Wales. I will do Wales. I will do. Actually, though, I think Wales is a pretty darn logical vassal to have, because it is relatively far from London. So, based on the maps we saw before of the London market, it's pretty distant from the London market, and also just as a result, probably very bad on the control mark as well. So it's probably actually just useful to have them as a vassal. Cornwall probably doesn't really matter. Cornwall probably doesn't really matter in that regard, though. It's probably got decent control. Does that mean we'll keep being after? Flanders is essentially independent of France. Oh, so, okay. Doesn't necessarily mean that Flanders will stay a vassal. Same as Brittany. So, yeah. France really is going to be in that state of being the HRE that's getting torn apart, where it's like they look super big and powerful right now, but then 100 Years' War is going to start, and everyone's going to start boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, France is going to absolutely have a bad time.
Maybe Burgundy will have a chance. Like, I mean, not necessarily Burgundy itself, but maybe there will be a chance for some of them to rise. Where was the specific? I don't have the. There's the actual map again, because like Auvergne's pretty large. Normandy's just going to get absorbed, but like Auvergne. Burgundy is decently sized right now, is the point. But I don't know what this country is. I don't know what that tag is, but it's probably Anjou, isn't it?
No, that's Bourbon.
If you
zoom in really quick closely, you can see that there's a slight gap there where it actually is just the same country.
Oh, you're right. That is just Bourbon.
Yeah, it's just very tight.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's tight.
It is delightful. I love bisecting France. Together with the help of Burgundy and Evreux underneath Navarre, we can saw this France in half.
That's a lot of damage.
That's what it's going to look like. France after France 50 years into EU5. That's a lot of damage. As Brittany's left, Flanders has left. Burgundy maybe is left too. You've got the Black Death has rolled in. England's going to be coming and conquering stuff.
So, first off, I believe they're going to lose a huge chunk of Aquitaine because the Black Prince just mollywops them, captures the King of France, and then the ransom is Aquitaine, like a huge chunk of Aquitaine being given.
Well,
because that is what happens in the mod.
It's essentially the return of Aquitaine, because at this point, essentially, the King of France has been slowly confiscating the land the English kings held in their capacity as his vassals.
It's a large chunk, to put it simply, Joffrey.
You know what?
Like, it's probably like 2/3 of Aquitaine is returned.
I do remember that from my time checking out Mayo and taxes. But I would not be surprised at all if that's why so much of this area is held by France de facto. If like Aquitaine expands up here to Bourbon,
It's more they
And then,
expand
like
More
east.
more
Yeah, 'cause
east. Yeah.
this makes sense. Like, you know, France to the sea. You know, they got to have their land connection to the sea. I get that. I it probably wouldn't go. I know Aquitaine doesn't go that much further than this. But
They do
this is probably
confiscate a
um,
bunch of it
yeah.
again later, but then Agincourt happens and France just like fucking falls apart until Joan of Arc comes along. They lose
We'll see.
Paris, they lose Orleans. I think they either I don't know if Orleans falls or if it's just being sieged. But it's bad. It
It's
is really
crazy
bad.
how close we came to
And
seeing
Joan of
an
Arc
actual
claim is
Benjamin.
relieving the siege of Orleans.
But yeah, it was France was not feeling good.
I'm gonna play as Viennois or Provence and say screw this. Actually, maybe even Majorca. That could be disgusting. There's so many people that, like, when the 100 Years' War kicks off, you could potentially just feast on France.
Yeah, depending on how it goes.
I do as like the Duchy of Flanders or Count. I don't know if it's a county or a duchy at this point, but
Well,
play as Flanders.
I expect Flanders will get an event to swap sides because they were much more interested in teaming up with the English than the other way.
You got to buy that English wool
English wool.
for the cloth. Flanders is probably going to be great. I really want to play them. There's so many people I'm going to want to play now that this game is going to be awesome. But what else do we have before? You know, we're getting closer to the end of this. And somehow we managed to make it hours long every time. It's my fault, of course. Do the Netherlands, Iberia, France, and skip the Baltic. Yeah, I'm surprised that it's the Baltic. We're just going... I was convinced it was going to be like, England. Or maybe if we were lucky, Italy. We're doing and keep doing the European regions.
I do really want to see Italy.
Yeah, yes, please. But we're gonna see European regions in a just non-geographic order. Just get them when we feel like they see it.
I'm not really interested in seeing the British Isles. We already know it's gonna be big England. England probably owns half of Ireland, and then a bunch of random Irish guys.
It's literally only the culture and maybe religious maps that I'm curious about. I doubt the religious map is interesting.
I don't think the Lollard heresy was a thing yet.
No,
they said
a century later.
Okay, well then it won't be interesting. Hopefully we get some Cathar remnants in southern France, though. Please, I beg.
I think they were slightly before Agincourt.
But yeah, no, Drac. I don't think we're gonna get insulars. I think this is beyond that. If we did get insulars, it would probably just instantly convert. Like I think this is too late.
Map of the world. It's not.
Oh, we did?
Insulars.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, you're right.
Spending so much time on.
It was good.
Somehow already forgotten.
Well, yeah, because it's like fucking the British Isles. Like I'm curious about the stuff we don't know about. Like the fact that we saw that there's the one county of Inti in Cuzco. It's like, oh, that's cool. Because once they flesh out the other religions in the area, you'll expand. But they're still very work in progress with religion, so maybe there will be some interesting stuff to be seen in Britain eventually, and I really hope we'll get like some, please, like at least a bit. Like you don't need a majority Cathar anywhere, just give us like a hash mark, please. I need. The Cathars were crushed, I know, but they must rise again.
It's like they're going really hardcore on making sure it's historically accurate. They're not gonna,
which is fine.
I don't think they're gonna do the little bits like with Yazd being Zoroastrian, just so you could have a Zoroastrian province there anymore.
Well, since now they can properly do minorities.
Yeah, minorities make it so much easier to handle that.
Yes, because it allows like silly things like the fucking Cathars, because there's no way there's any Cathar counties anymore, but maybe there's enough, like, because they're talking about how they could, there's some village, they said, that was seemingly Cathar, like, for a while. It's like, oh, okay, maybe this location has hash marks, because a decent amount of it is Cathar.
Being able to show cultural and religious minorities is something that would improve every Paradox game.
Yes. I'm so glad that this is going to be a thing.
I wish they had it in CK3. I know it's a character-based game, but I'd love to have minorities in it.
Yeah, it would have been very nice, but I don't think it's feasible, unfortunately. What comes after the Baltic? Next week we get Map of the Baltic. I'll have to schedule a stream of that now. We got doing fucking talking about maps twice a week now. Goddamn. Not necessarily every week. Admittedly, know nothing about this. Weird horizontal for province state being. Yeah, it's the area of Ying. One of the administrative divisions of the French Sin regime. Is there silver in the game? Yes, there's silver. And there is one in Iberia, yep. Saw some general maps of Europe. To the Polish international regional / administrative divisions. Oh yeah, because they made Poland look centralized from what we've seen. I don't recall exactly what source was used for Poland, but if you open a new thread, team, check it out. The fellow Polish co-workers. Yeah, Drac, as of now, in this 1337 date, yeah, Poland looks very... well, actually, no, it's mostly centralized.
Very centralized. Like, all the areas around Warsaw
right.
and such are not part of the centralized kingdom.
I forgot. That's right. The northeast corner is quite decentralized. And it has not taken over Galicia, Volhynia yet.
Yeah, Galicia, Volhynia is an independent kingdom.
Next week's Tinto maps. Why is it making Limokis in Vassalage? Sure that Albrecht would fit in the map as an independent polity. The jurisdiction and powers of the King of France among his vassals are way larger than among the HRE. Yeah. Very troublesome situation in the Empire, the death of Frederick. Yeah. Golden Bull stuff. There's some... Holy shit, there's some large blurbs here at the end of this. He's talking about all sorts of things, like talking about there being Gascon burger pop in some place. Oh god. Better men than me can talk about the terrain and climate. Oh god, man, I don't know. I don't know, man, that's a lot. But they appreciate great feedback, taking notes, huh? Well, they're asking for this, so... First iteration of the map portrayed the lands of Iberian France belonging to... Please, no! Oh, God! It just actually was Navarre. Ooh. I think they might have been detached to Navarre after we
can't wait to inherit Evro as Navarre.
Gaston pops. Northern Iberian region. Yeah, we saw, actually, in the culture map mode of Iberia that there is actually a, in fact, a hash marks worth of Gascon pops in Navarre, in the heart of Navarre. So there's quite a few. The Waldensians. Where are the Waldensians? He's not responding to the Waldensians. Where are the Waldensians? Show them to me.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
Are the Waldensians safe? Can we Brazilians make a thread about Brazil? The Brazilians coming out in force in protest to southern Brazil having so much wasteland. However, we won't be able to comment stuff in detail until it's assigned. Tinto maps arrives. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. God damn. Waldensians were destroyed by Joffrey in the Mega. That's right, I forgot. I destroyed the Cathars and Waldensians in the Mega before EU4 started. They were, however, Nemcraft, there were 2 counties of each. There were 2 Cathar counties and 2 Waldensian counties. Therefore, I think it's only fair that in EU5 we have some Waldensians and Cathars.
Oh yeah, because in your CK3 game they existed.
I mean, does anything else matter?
No.
Yeah. Just glad you understand that. Thought we were going to have a problem.
I can't wait to see at the start of EU5 the giant Nestorian Uyghur country that's about to kill the Chinese. I'm looking forward to that.
Can you how on earth is it going to be? How do you make a CK3 to EU5 converter with pops? It's just going to be the entire county is 100% that pop.
Probably similar to what they do with the Vic3 from EU4 to Vic3.
I've never seen how that works.
The base population of the Earth, but then redistributed based on buildings and development from CK3.
Well, I mean, like the population of a county, like what percentage of it is a culture? Like it's probably just gonna be 100%.
There's probably not much you could do about minorities.
Yeah.
I don't know what they could do.
It's probably just gonna be 100% this culture and faith. It's like, whatever.
Like, yeah, I don't know what you could do there. Like you could do the redistribution, but well, there is something they do in Victory that we could use in EU4 in our Mega, where when you culture convert a province, it doesn't become 100% your culture in Victory. Instead, it starts ticking up by 0.5% per year after you convert it. So if you convert it 20 years before we convert, it would tick up 10%. So 10% of that province would have actually been converted.
Oh, okay.
From what it previously was. But that's potentially, I don't know how well they'd be able to do that in this. God, do you? That thread is still near the top.
3D portraits one?
No, the other one. You know the one.
Oh! Please don't have mission trees / focus trees in the game. They reduce player agency or detach from the internal.
I get the issue with mission trees, but I don't understand why people hate it so much. Like, out of everything, that was the #1 thing from EU4 people wanted to get rid of. Forget the broken trade system. It was mission trees and unique content that was the problem.
Yeah.
Not a lot of... There's not a lot of new dev responses I see that are interesting.
Not at the moment. I mean,
like,
it's only been a few days.
Ireland... More discourse. I need to talk about more stuff. Like what we got, Ireland market.
Trade routes.
Yellow lines are exports from a market. Green lines are imports from a market. Yeah. That's literally all he said.
Wait, this is the first time we've actually seen like these sorts of things. Actually, we haven't seen the green and yellow lines really, and what they're supposed to be. So this is actual new information for us.
Yeah, where did he get this from?
That was Johan. Johan posted it.
This man. Oh.
See, that was different. That was from the France man.
That's from this.
Johan showed a different picture that shows that in detail.
And then Johan shows this picture.
Johan just gives us actual new stuff. So we
actually
can see the lines on the map.
Riga market.
God, they go back and forth and it's not one direction.
Oh, we get to see the new Antwerp. Ew! Oh,
that London market.
No! I screw this. Take it back. Add the Low Countries to the London market again. Not this.
That is so based.
Not
that is so based.
Frisia! Goddamn Frisia's in the London market!
That
Oh.
is so incredibly based. Oh, you don't understand.
What do you mean I don't understand? I'm seeing it! It is right there before my very eyes. I see it. Oh. Oh. But I need to. Oh yeah, this gives me the powerful urge to unite the Low Countries as Brabant and expand the Antwerp market. That's probably so valuable as a start
Opinion
with
that
Brabant.
at the start, Flanders should be in the London market. Or the Antwerp market if they really want to do it with
It's not
exports.
France. Just not the
should not
French one.
It should not be in the Paris market.
I don't understand. That makes no. It is right next to Antwerp.
But
It
it
should-
also is economically dependent on, once again, the wool trade.
But I'm down. I'm down with the idea of
Either
if it's in Antwerp, and the idea is just that Antwerp buys a lot of wool from London. That works too.
Also,
but the
London market's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
I think it's going up into Scotland too. It's huge.
I need to move my. Oh, that's not actually so bad. But like what you can see on the end of it's so faded in the corner. Can you imagine when you see how faded this is here? Oh, okay. Well, how faded this is. Yeah, that's where my mouse is going to show. How faded this is here. Can you imagine what that's going to look like in Ireland? It's going to be nothing. They got no market access. If you unite Ireland, it'll be so.
But
that'll be so.
Look at the top left where Scotland is. That's so much brighter red. That's
along the coast,
in the London market.
Along the coast, yeah, but in Ireland, that's probably like if you get the High Kingship of Ireland, it's probably so easy to make your own market. But there isn't one at the start, as you can see with the way the London market name curves. Yeah, it's just everything. It's the entirety of Britain, which is horrible. That's going to look so. The Irish aren't going to be able to buy shit.
Buddy, that's rough.
You gotta you gotta unite that High Kingship and get your own market pronto. Whew. You wonder how powerful Bohemia's market is? Well, it looks very weak. I'm gonna be honest. This let me move this back.
Yeah, that's just the problem with purely inland markets. It's not. It's just completely inland. There's no coast.
How do you control? You just can't. The fucking Krakow market. Look at that. Look at the north of the Krakow market. Oh, build some roads, motherfuckers, will you? Holy. It's bad news when the goddamn Lübeck market up here on the coast, all of like Scandinavia, is looking like it's gonna take Lower Saxony and Sorbia. The fucking Sorbians are at risk of being out of the Czech market and into the Lübeck one. And then called, like, Germany is fucked when it comes to markets. There's no trade to be had here. This is dreadful. Oh.
Yeah, you could see just how few imports and exports there are between them at the moment.
No joke. No, like, oh, there's nothing in here. Nothing is happening in here. If you're like playing as Cologne, you just want to kill Antwerp. You want to kill the Low Countries, and then start trading from Antwerp. You just want to absorb the rest of your old homeland into the Antwerp market. Like, this is it. That's all there is to it. But yeah, the Hanseatic League, that's a good point. The Hanseatic League probably is in like making this more extreme in Germany as well. But yeah, Lübeck is German, but do they really have that much control over the trade here? I guess, because it's the center.
Lübeck was the de facto head of the Hanseatic League, so.
Yeah. I mean, based on all the trade that's happening here, I mean, this is like where the trade is bussing at this point in time.
In the north, at least.
Yes.
Obviously, if you look at Italy, it'll be very different.
This isn't even like London. London's not having much trade happen.
Like, this is very early development, so I imagine it's
Yeah.
not as complex as it's gonna be when the game is actually out. But it
Yeah.
being this early and it's that active in Lubeck, I think says quite a lot.
It does. It does. Damn, the Hansa's gonna be crazy. That sounds like a lot of fun, though. Build up Lubeck and Riga to be strong. Hamburg. But yeah, like there's trade coming into Lubeck from somewhere else, like off like Spain or something. It's like going up. That's a weird angle to be coming from, though. I don't know what the deal with that is.
Swedish copper, obviously.
Not this again.
I think the copper's in the Riga market. It's hard to tell, but I think it might be.
There's that. That's in that you don't have much access there at all. It's kind of rough. Swedes got to make their own market,
It's
as I'm sure they will.
map. The copper mine isn't on this map.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a little north of that?
Yeah.
It's probably in the Riga one. Because of how faded this is. This is not. Yeah, the Lubeck's losing a lot of. It's still very back and forth. I bet you could very much swap it without too much difficulty. I really want to find out, as Sweden, is it valuable? Like, are you gonna, in this situation, want to make your own market in Stockholm or down here on the coast? Rather, I think it was somewhere around here. It was one of these two coasts. I forget that they were saying would be the best place to make a Swedish market. But I don't. Is it better to do that, or do you want, or is it better for you to be in some other market to get access to more goods easier?
I think it just depends on your situation. Does your market provide you with everything that you need? No need to make a new one. Or does it cause you some sort of problems in terms of money? Because I don't remember how they said the controller, what benefits the controller gets. I think the controller gets first access to goods.
You're right, Chase. That's almost certainly trading with motherfucking Greenland.
or it is going around Scotland and down to Ireland.
No, we already said, Dark. Like with the way that the British market or the London market is listed there is no, that is the letter L is on top of Ulster right now. Like,
I can't.
is totally exporting to Greenland. They are buying shit from Lubeck.
Okay, I can't imagine it's Greenland. Iceland I could buy. I cannot see Greenland, though.
Iceland market, my guy. No.
Do you really think Greenland has a market, but Iceland wouldn't? You think it's more likely that the market is in Greenland rather than Iceland?
Okay, truce. Greenland, Iceland has its own market because nothing gets up there otherwise. But Greenland's in it.
Well, probably. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Okay. Well, then truce. Easy. Great. Peace in our time. God, I love the fucking Krakow market is such a joke. I'm sorry, Drac. I'm gonna turn off my cam for a second. Look at this, Drac.
Once again, the Polish trade empire in shambles.
Look at this! There is nothing. It's just horrendous control. Like, oh, the Lubeck could probably exert power over this and just grab it too. Oh, damn. They don't have naval access? What do you expect? I don't know. Explain this. Explain why it's like, you've got like Bohemia. Bohemia's got decent. Like, they can exert control decently up to the fringes. Krakow, there's nothing. There's like 3 steps to the south, instantly Pannonia or whatever the fuck this is, like the pest market or something. Just annex Pomerania. Okay, sure. Whatever you say. You see, at that point, Drac, if you annex Pomerania into Poland, then you're just gonna make the fucking like Danzig market. It's not gonna be Krakow anymore.
Yeah, that's what he'd want, though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good thing. I'm laughing. It's just I'm laughing about it because it's just so funny that like the Krakow market exists and it's this horrendous. But like, yeah, if you set up a new one in Danzig, that'd probably be decent. Though you'd lose all of South Poland for sure. Anyway, there's not. I doubt there's all that much more to be said at this point.
I don't know what else there is to say. We got this new picture which I wasn't expecting.
I'm glad I took a look though. That is excellent. Oh, that is an excellent grab.
But I think that's about it.
There's just lots of people ranting about it, but yeah, not unexpected. Well, okay, it's not unexpected that people are talking about it. It is unexpected that we got this picture, because this picture, it says a lot of words, is the point. Yeah, so we there's a lot to break down about that. But at this point, unless Vector has any thoughts he'd like to express, we might wrap this up here.
Not particularly.
I think we're gonna wrap it out then.
All right then. Well, we still managed to somehow make it to 2 hours by just talking about the map of France and some other random shit. Good job, consistent as usual, ranting for ages. But you just missed it, indeed, Aiden. You messed up big time. 2 hours and you still messed up.
Watch the VOD, Aiden. Watch the VOD from beginning to end.
You must watch the entire thing, and I'll know if you didn't. I'll quiz you later.
You will. You're gonna get. It's gonna be. This is going to be on the test.
Mm-hmm. It's all of you must watch. Wait. When EU5 comes out, there will be a quiz, the Joffrey quiz, and you need to study up on your VODs. Right. But for now, I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.